What we do here is go back, 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 back.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another Word on the Curb. Yes, it has been a minute, but I hadn't really had any kind of real gossip to come through, so I haven't did a Word on the Curb for a while. Well, this came along. It came down my timeline and I was like so curious because anytime I see a post that says, "Oh my God," I know the Squatties has gotten something really, really juicy. And so when I saw this, I'm going to put it up. I saw this. I knew that this was going to be juicy. And you know what? It is juicy. It is the author and historian Alexander Lorman. He is talking with this other gentleman. Now, I don't know if it's a podcast, but it seems like they are doing a Zoom interview or something like that. And let me tell you, this historian, this person who knows that family in and out, he had some really, really interesting things to say. Yes, he talked about Willie, he talked about Kitty, he talked about Prince Philip, he talked about them all. Now, he did not get a good opportunity to tell us a lot of the juicy details, at least what he believes, because this guy he was talking to just went on and on and on and on, just talking. And we wanted to know what he knew, but he said enough for me to do a Word on the Curb. Now, I am going to play this soundbite and then we'll talk on the other side. But baby, this is juicy.
William is not a very good advertisement for the monarchy, both personally and in terms of any kind of intellectual hinterland. He is going to run the institution of the monarchy into the ground when he becomes king. So putting your hopes on him.
Now, could you just elaborate that a little bit?
Sure.
You said that you don't think he's personally very good. Now, can you elaborate on that?
I could, but we'd be sued for libel. However,
you are suggesting that perhaps the image of the perfect family life is not true.
I'm suggesting that anybody who watches this who has access to Google will be able to find out very quickly what the rumours are about Prince William, and without wishing to disseminate them, they're certainly worth.
Precisely. Yeah.
I think that obviously those around Prince William would be hoping very strongly that he and his family are seen as the first family, because obviously you can't argue that with Charles anymore, can you? I mean, you probably couldn't have argued that for years.
Did y'all hear that? It is getting so good, y'all. It is getting so good. And the reason it's getting so good is Squatties are being vindicated. They are now saying everything that Squatties have been saying for years. I have been saying this on repeat on this very channel, that William is the future king, dumb as a rock, because he's dumb as a rock. And now this historian is saying the exact same thing, that he does not have the intellect to run the monarchy. I mean, surprise, surprise. This is a man who fell for the honeypot. Why would you think this man was the sharpest crayon in the box? I mean, William is far from being an Einstein, and everybody knows it. And now they are saying it out loud. I love it. And then he blew the cover on that so-called perfect family that Willie and Kitty wants to present to the world while she's walking around here with a big scar upside her head. They want us to believe that they're happy. Everything is just hunky-dory. They are Harry and Meghan. Yes, but we all see through the facade. He can barely sit next to her at different events and engagements. He cannot stand her, and she cannot stand him, and you can see it. I mean, the whole chemistry of these two are just off and awkward. I mean, those pictures from the BAFTAs, oh my God, they look like they were a divorced couple already. And they want to try to sell this fantasy. I mean, bound and determined to try to do it, but they are poor at it. They are. And I love the fact that he talked about that. And then he talked about William's behavior outside of the marriage. Did y'all hear that? He said you can just Google it. I wonder what would come up. Would it be the Prince of Pegging, Rose, or would it be about Thomas Kingston? Because y'all know that right there is a rumor here on these internet streets that Kitty had some involvement with Thomas Kingston, and that is the reason why he woke up not being here anymore. But that is a rumor, that's hearsay. But y'all know the word on the curb is where we go to talk about all this stuff that we have no idea if it's true or not. We're just talking. And yeah, it's a rumor out there that Kitty was involved with Thomas Kingston. William found out about it, and he ended up, not being around no more. And they saying that it was something having to do with that stomach surgery. Now, I'm not going to go into it. Maybe I will in another word on the curb, but y'all can imagine saying she had something in her stomach because of Thomas Kingston and they had to take it out. I'll just put it to y'all that way. Yes, that is a rumor here on these internet streets. I said it's a rumor. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying this is what people are saying. Okay? All right. I done got a little off track, so I digress. Yes, so he said Google it, and it's plenty will pop up. Yes, it is. And I also love how he took a shot at Charles at the end. Charles and the horse saying that no, it's no way they could be the ideal family because the horse came into the whole situation as a side piece. Because it's my understanding, and it has been reported, that Diana was upstairs in her bedroom while the horse was down in the bushes giving Charles a BJ. Yeah, so this is how she came to be. And Charles thought it was a good idea to put that on the throne. And then you wonder why the monarchy is circling the drain. I mean, let's be for real. What are they going to tell little girls who want to grow up and marry a prince and be a princess? That you're going to have to know how to run a good honey pot? And they're going to have to know how to give a good BJ? Is that what you're going to tell them? I'm telling you, all of those European royals, except the ones in the Netherlands, have embarrassed themselves. When they went out to choose wives, they did not choose very wisely, did they? Look at Norway. Look at Sweden. Those so-called princesses are in the JE files. Yes, I mean, they have not done a very good job. I have to throw my head back and cackle. How they mocked Harry, how they said he was dumb and stupid and he didn't know anything and he was the spare. And Harry went out and found himself a brilliant wife. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes above all of these other women that these so-called princes of the European realm went out and picked. It seems like they went on the corner of Sunset and Vine over there in Hollywood and picked up a woman like the man did in the movie Pretty Woman. I mean, look like that they all picked women who had been around, if you know what I mean. And some of them, like that one over there in Norway, she has been around and around and around and around again. And that is not me saying that. They are literally in the JE files. But I digress. I just enjoyed that shot at the end at Charles and his horse. But I want to talk about this post from this squatty. It is a repost, and the original post said, perhaps Prince William's image of the perfect family life isn't true. Well, we know it's not true. You can see it. It's on full display every time they show up as a family. The kids look very stressed and they look very uncomfortable and do not come near one another. The last time they were out together, I think it was a Christmas walk. Kitty and Willie never made eye contact, and the children looked so unhappy, so uncomfortable, so stressed. And you want to present this as a happy family life? This is supposed to be a relationship goal. I don't think so. I don't think so. Because we can see exactly what a good marriage, a happy marriage, and a happy family looks like in comparison when we look over towards Montecito at Harry and Meghan. Now, those are two people who love one another. Those are happy kids. But yeah, so I don't understand who they think they're fooling, because they're definitely not fooling anybody who has two brain cells. But it goes on and says the day will come when these royal correspondents tell the truth. Even the POS, like Alexander Lorman, can admit that there is some truth to the man's alleged cheating habits, which would explain Forest Lodge. I agree with this squatty because they took over, I think, 150 acres of land in the name of security. Now, it ain't that much security in the world. Why do you need all these acres of land? I would say you're trying to hide something. Something like Willie don't live there. Is that what they're trying to hide? He really lives at Windsor Castle. You know, Squatty's been saying that for a long time. But yeah, why do you need all of this land? It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, it might be because of this. And the squatter that reposted this said, oh my God, you guys, listen to this. It says Alexander Lorman said if you just Google what he means about William not being a good ambassador for the monarchy on a personal level and the rumors surrounding him, you'll know what he means. Means William and his affair rumors. Oh my God. Yes, we have someone who is giving us confirmation that what squatties have been saying for years is absolutely true. And this squatty said he said it all without saying it. So this person is saying there are truth to the rumors. That's exactly what he said. He said Google it. And if you Google it, it's true. They all know what the rumors are out there for Willie. Willie is absolutely who we all expected him to be. And then this other squatty said, the guy is a historian, a monarchist, and a royal author. If he is saying it, there is some truth to it. And as you can see, look at all the books he has written. And most of them are about that family. So he knows what he speaks of. He does. He knows that family, and he is saying that Willie is going to be the downfall of the royal family. If he gets an opportunity to become king, he's going to be trash. That's what he said. And nobody didn't ask him to say it. He's not a squatty or anything like that. He is a historian and he has known Willie probably since the day he was born, and he can see that this man do not have the characteristics of being a good king. We have said that time and time again. But yeah, it is good to get confirmation. And this other squatty said, I agree with this guy. Now that Prince William has put himself on a pedestal, and he has many skeletons, the fall will be swift. It is, absolutely. I mean, and he has such poor judgment. Him and Kitty, I don't see how they think it is a good idea to copy Harry and Meghan. It makes them look like they are crazy, but they do it anyway. I mean, it's going to be swift. I agree with this, Squatty. It's not going to take long. And this is a repost, and the original post said, the thing I would say about the monarchy is William is not a good advertisement for the monarchy, both personally and in terms of any kind of intellectual hinderling. Every time I read that or hear that, I have to laugh. I do. It said he's going to run the institution of the monarchy into the ground when he becomes king. Those are the words. And the squatty that reposted this said, I think this is the reason why many people, including William himself, was pissed when Harry left. I think so too. Because William and Kitty, they know who they are. Now they pretend like they don't know, but they know exactly who they are. They know they are mediocre. Because my whole thing is, why would you think that you are not mediocre when you are consistently having to copy someone else? If you wasn't a mediocre individual, you would come up with your own ideas. You would have your own style. You would have your own swag. You would have your own personality. But her and Willie can't stop copying Harry and Meghan because they can't come up with an original idea between them. I mean, if they had to and their life depended on it, they could not have an original thought. I don't believe they could. And this squatty said, they all know that William is not cut out to be king, but felt better because good King Harry was going to be there in the background. Where is the lie? Where is it? Because even with all of their efforts to depress and suppress Harry's projects, Harry has created legacy projects. He even did that before he even left that family. I mean, he created legacy projects within that family, even when they were actively trying to suppress them. Harry talks about it in Spare, how Willie didn't even want him to do Invictus. But Harry paid him no mind and continued to move forward with all of his different charities, and he has done a stellar job. He has. So they knew Harry was the winner. They knew Harry was the one who really, really brought the shine to that family. And they knew that Harry and the Queen was the most popular. Not William, not Kate, not Charles, not his horse. It was Harry and the Queen. And they really thought that they could afford to lose them both. I mean, dumb dummies. And I'm going to put this up. This particular squad, it goes through the whole conversation between David Starkey, who is the older gentleman, and Alexander Lawson. And she kind of critiques everything that they said and even talked about the part about Prince Philip. Now, you can find this interview on YouTube. So it's out there for everyone to see the full interview, but yeah, it's delicious. So this is what this squatty says about it. Now she reposted another squatty's post, and I have read that one already, so I'm not going to read it again. But this is what she said about the interview. She said, I watched the whole thing on David Starkey's YouTube channel. It was overall boring, but there was two great parts. One, David Starkey admitted that Prince Philip was a whore. Well, we knew this. We knew this. He cheated on the queen the whole time. I mean, the whole time. She was a stalwart in virtue. The queen was. She was without approach when it comes to anything like that. At least so far, that's all we know. Now, it's been some conversations, but it has never been any proof that she has been anything except of good character. So I digress on that point. But Philip, on the other hand, he was a straight up hoe. And we already know about Penny Natchbull and them taking up with each other over there at Wood Farms. Yes, they stayed together for years at Wood Farms. I mean, when he retired, he went to Wood Farms and she came right on over there. They lived together up until the C word pandemic. And then they said that they wanted the queen and him to be together because they would be safer that way. So yeah, so he was over there at Wood Farms with Penny Natchbull. And y'all know that it just recently came out that he had an affair with Fergie's mother. A long affair with Fergie's mother. Who knew? But yeah, that's just recently come out. So Prince Philip was a whore. He was. And by the Queen's reaction to it, she could have cared less. I think the Queen comes from an environment, that aristocratic environment, that this is all expected. They don't pay any attention because all of the men cheat. They all lack scruples. They do. And they all have mistresses. They say it is the aristocratic way. But I digress. Let me get through this particular post. Like I said, it says David Starkey admitted that Prince Philip was a whore and his many mistresses were swept under the rug, and that Andrew clearly got that from his father. I agree with that. I do. It says William is not fit to be king from a personal and intellectual perspective. I also agree with that. Yes, future King Dumb as a Rock is, like I said, dumb as a rock. And it says the annoying thing is when David asked Lorman to elaborate on why he believed what he did about William, Lorman was about to, and then David cut him off and started blabbering away. David is a blabbermouth. He spent the most time talking and not Lorma. So perhaps that's just how he is, but I am so annoyed that Lorma didn't interject and ask to be allowed him to make his case why William isn't suitable for the throne. It's clear that Lorma believes that William is leading a fake life and portraying a fake family image. Well, we've been knowing that for a while. And squatties have been yelling it from the top of the mountain. We have been saying this. I have said it so much on this podcast. Squatties have always known that this was fake and phony. That whole family image of Willie and Kitty's. But we all know that the Rangers, all the ugly old hags, all of the toadies and the flying monkeys want to pretend like we don't know what we were talking about. Well, here is a historian. He knows that family. He writes about that family. He studies that family. And he has a lot of inside sources when it comes to that family. And he is saying exactly what the squatties have been saying, and they have none of that. My whole thing is, if you pay attention and watch them and look and see and use common sense, you don't need all of that to be able to tell that it's something going on with Willie and Kitty. And then she disappears for 6 months and come back with a scar upside her head. Now come on now. I mean, and want us to believe that she has some form of cancer and doesn't know anything about cancer when in an environment with people who do have the disease. I mean, it is crazy if you know anything about logic. I mean, if you have more than two brain cells, you can figure this out. But yeah, it is great to have receipts. It's great to have that confirmation. It really is. But we have known this forever. Forever. Way before Harry and Meghan left. Them folks was having problems. But anyway, we gonna finish this up. And it says, that tells me that he knows William is an adulterer like many of the men in his family, and that's why William isn't fit for a personal perspective. He is trying to position him and Kate as the first family, when in reality they don't embody the virtues of a Christian couple. Faithful. Exactly. Exactly. They're not even very religious. Y'all remember that Willie confessed and said that he really was not a religious person. So my whole thing is, how can you embody something that you don't even believe in? I'm just saying. And this squatty posted that same squatty and said, so little Willie is immoral and unintelligent. No surprises. We already knew that. Yes, we know who Willie is. And Willie knows who Willie is. That's why he's so mad. And Harry escaped. I am so happy for Harry and Meghan. They don't have to put up with all this nonsense. And another squatty came up under that squatty and said, remember when the New Statesman called him functionally illiterate, and word got back to him, so he was pictured on a plane in Brazil reading a piece of paper. Laugh out loud. Yes, y'all remember he was supposedly reading his speech on the plane. Yeah. And they took a picture of him. Yes, I'm telling you. Really. I must say, I am enjoying this new period that we are in. It is not all coming out, but to have as much to come out, them feeling free enough to say what they have said so far, I must say, I'm enjoying this, and I did not know that it was going to come about like it did, but it did, and I am enjoying it. I am. And also, I want to put this up. This squatty says, reporters and royal rodents are openly talking about William and his affairs and how things are out there to read. Everyone knows about him. As I said, Charles and his horse can easily destroy William Parker Bowes by leaking his affairs and treatment of Kate at any given day. And this is the reason why I believe when Willie really starts feeling himself and planning stories and acting out, Charles will come in and plan a story and slap him down. He will. Because Charles knows what is going on with Willie. Now, Charles don't want to go in on him and destroy the monarchy, because at the end of the day, it is his job to make sure the monarchy survives. So I don't think Charles wants to say anything about what is going on with William. But if William goes too far, I think Charles will slap him down. So I agree with this squatty. Any given day, we might have the show that we have been waiting for. And I Cannot wait, y'all. I can't wait. All right, y'all. I'm going to put this one up. And this goes to show you how obsessed they are with Meghan. No matter what is going on, it's Meghan, 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 Meghan. Look at this. This squatty posted it and said, World War III has started and the British media cannot let go of Meghan Markle. Look at that. Meghan is trending in the UK. I cannot, y'all. We are going through some things, as world citizens, and especially as American citizens. We are going through some stuff. But yet and still, the UK can't think about anything except Meghan. She's trending. For what reason? Nobody knows. Nobody knows because they have ended their tour. I mean, a couple of days ago. Why are you still talking about Meghan? They cannot help themselves. That's all I'm saying. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.